$50 silver is inevitable. You know it, I know it, we all know it. Question is, then what? After that, here is silver on the quarterly time frame priced in USD. We've hit over that $37 mark, $37.12. At the moment, it is great to see. You know we're heading past 50. Of course, this is the 45-year cup and handle. And if you're new to silver, if you're watching this for the first time, this is really stuff you need to look out at. This is a massive cup and handle formation. You might be worrying, and some people will be saying, when we get to $50 and we're just rocketing up to there, okay, it might take a little bit of time, but when we get there, some people will say, and some of the media people will say, and some people who have been burned by silver for a long time will say, we're back at $50. We did it in 1980. We did it in 2011. It's a triple top, people. We've never broken it before. Why would we break it again? Okay. We're going to just head back to, no, it's a triple top and down we go. Now, I give that probably a 1% chance or even less than that. Triple tops usually aren't a thing. I think you might spend a little bit of time just fussing around here, people talking about it, people taking some profits, maybe people in 2011 who bought at the top are like, I've been holding this thing for 14 years. I'm getting out, I'm breaking even, and then I'm going to see what the price does. So at that 50, you might see a bit of a, hang around. Once we break through, it's onwards and upwards from there. So let's take a look at the next levels that we might be looking at upwards after 50 US dollars. I'm going to show you my trusty 1980s Fibonacci. So we're taking it from the old high of the 1980s and the old lows of the early 90s, and you have Fibonacci extension levels. Now, I have made the case numerous times on this channel how the 1980s fib from this high and this low has been very well respected on the way up to the double top back there in 2011, and it's been respected really well. If you just take a look at the levels, just eyeball them. Okay, you can see they're pretty consistent, like not 100% perfect, but again, this is the quarterly time frame. Okay, so the next major level we're looking at, and I think this will be some kind of, level, maybe on the weekly or the monthly, you'll find some kind of, I think, decent resistance there. Certainly not over for silver, but it's right here at 75 US dollars. It's the 1.618 Fibonacci from this high and this low, and 1.618 Fibonacci's tend to be one where people go, it's at the 1.618. Okay, we'll take some profits here. Okay, so I think that will be an area to watch out for. Now, this could be, again, on the smaller term timeframes on the weekly or the monthly. On the quarterly, you never know. It just could still just be a green quarter, and then it sails all the way through, but some kind of resistance there. I think the next level will be, it's going to be the psychological value, potentially at that $100 level. And I tell you what, when it hits, and when, it's not a matter of if, it's when it hits 100 US dollars, triple digit silver for the first time in history, it's going to be an absolute party everywhere around the world for all stackers, and I'll be doing my own party. I'll do it live as well. I go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that'll be fun. And then the next level right here is at 120 US dollars. Okay, so that's just the 2.618 Fibonacci from this high and this low. And the next major one I'll say, and we won't talk about, well, there's one more higher price that I'll talk about, but it's further on down the track. But right here, around about 190 US dollars. Now, I know that's a bunch of different targets, okay? I actually think silver will go much higher than that over a longer period of time. I'll show you what that is in just a second. I just feel like these are going to be some stopping points along the way. I'm going to suggest, though, I think the psychological value of 100 won't be a massive stopping point. Okay, it's a one just to keep note of. I do give preference to the Fibonacci extension. So the 75, the 120, and the 190. If I was giving you if you're asking me, gun to the head, where do I think we could have a decent top out before a retrace after that, then I'd actually give preference to probably the $120 mark. Okay. Again, on the quarterly time frame, I think you could, again, on the weekly and the monthly, you might find a little bit of resistance here, but I think it's more likely that you find resistance here on the longer term and then have a bit of a retrace from there. Now, what tends to happen is that once you break out of a major resistance level, and can I just state for a second, silver is the only asset out of all assets in the world that ever existed in 1980 that still exist today, it's the only assets that's never broken its 1980 high. Let me explain that again. Out of all the assets in the world, every single asset that existed in 1980 that exists still today has beaten its 1980 price, except for silver. Okay, so it's a very key level. Once you break out, you might come back to test it. So could it be something like that? Could you do, and then we're just spitballing here, could you come up to the 1.61875 and then do something like that? Sure, but I do feel like the $120 area is an area to watch out for. Now, do I think silver is going only to there and then it's just back down and, that's it? No chance. No. I believe that 700 US dollars silver is absolutely doable, and let me show you why. So this is the cup and handle, as we showed you before. So you just take, and this is a very normal pattern to play out on smaller time frames. It's just when you look at it on larger time frames, you go, oh, there's no way. No, cup and handle formations play out in this kind of pattern, which I'll show you very regularly. Okay, do they always do it? No, but it's pretty good potential. So here's the low of the early 90s. We're talking $3.50, and then you take it to the high, $50, and that's that percentage gain. Okay, then all you do is you just match that to the breakout of $50. Okay, and let's do it here. And this is what you get. If this plays out fully, okay, cup and handle formation, again, up and down, it's going to do its thing. Okay, you can hit as high as 700 US dollar silver. Now, it's not going to do it in the next 2 years. Okay, it can take anywhere between 10 to 20 years. This is marked out at the 20-year mark. That's at 2045. Could it happen sooner than that? Yeah, sure. Pick a number, but probably not. If I move this over here, that's not going to happen. That's too steep of a move. But something like anywhere from here to here, and if you want to mid-range it, 2040, I know, pick a number, that's really doable, okay? And this is not even in a hyperinflationary scenario or any kind of scenario where we are in dire economic trouble, okay, where people are using wheelbarrows full of cash to pay for, a cup of coffee, okay? That's just normal market moves in a normal market. 45-year cup, handle, up and down, ignore the price thing, ignore the time range and all that sort of stuff. That's just, all that. It's really doable in that kind of time frame, okay? Easy. From this high and this low, very simple. That's at the 17.94 Fibonacci. It's very doable, okay? Next 10 to 20 years. So I'm incredibly bullish on silver, and some people are calling for silver to go even higher than that. Do you agree? Could silver even go higher than 700 US dollars? Do you disagree and go 700 US dollars? That's ridiculous. Not even 10 to 20 years time. Post a comment below, battle it out in the comments and the replies, and let me know. But it's really great to see silver over the $37 mark, and we're rocketing up to 50 over time. Let me show you it on the Australian dollar time frame. I'll go back, I'll take it to the monthly. I'll show you the Australian dollar, then of course we'll quickly talk about gold and platinum as well. We do a precious metals update every single day. Sometimes it's pre-recorded, sometimes it is live. Here is, no, we don't want that. We want silver on the Australian dollar. Okay, haven't done it for a while, so this is silver and Australian dollars on the monthly time frame. Okay, and here's what I'm expecting for silver. I think we might get a little bit of a pause at around about your, maybe a little at that $64 mark. That's the 1.618 Fibonacci. Let me show you here. But the main one, there you go. There's the 1.618 Fibonacci from this high and this low. This is the peak in 2011, where we were around about 1-to-1 parity with the US dollar. So when silver hit around about $48 in 2011, we hit about $46 according to this particular chart. Okay, then in 2014 we had a low of about 17 Australian dollars. We've now rocketed through. So we are making all-time highs in silver. Now that's because the US dollar has been strengthening, or the Australian dollar has been weakening massively against the US dollar. So even though silver in US dollars hasn't gone to its all-time high of $50, we're making all-time highs in Australian dollars, and you're doing it in a lot of your foreign currencies wherever you are in the world. Okay, so I do think the 1.618 Fibonacci from this high and this low may just be a small area of resistance, and that's around about 64 Australian dollars. And then the $50 equivalent right now, I think based on current USD ratio, is around about 80 Australian dollars. So when we get to 50 US dollars, again, some people will be taking profits because they were bag holders from 2011. The media will be saying, oh, it's never been higher than this, triple top, triple top. There'll probably be some kind of selling, and I think that coincides with around about 80 Australian dollars. Again, does this matter along the way to $700 silver in 10, 20 years time? Not really. So just dollar cost average. Anyway, but just out of interest. And the next major one after that, you've got the 2.618 Fibonacci here at 94 Australian dollars. But really, there's the psychological value of 100 Australian dollars. I'm going to have two live parties. So one's going to be when we hit 100 Australian dollars, triple digit in Australian dollars. Now that's going to happen quicker. It's going to happen before we do it in US dollars. So two live parties coming not that far down the track. And when do I think $50, when do I think $100 silver can be hit in Australian dollars? Next year is doable. This year, probably not, but you never know. And when do I think $100 US silver can be hit? Late next year is possible as well. 2027, no problem. I think in my humble, non-financial advice opinion. So that is silver. Great to see it at all-time highs in Australian dollars as well. Let's take a quick look at gold. This is gold on the monthly time frame. And I do have my target. Now, this is my no higher than target until we see some kind of decent retracement. Now, I have been saying for a while, actually, I've been saying it's when we got up to around about that 3,000, I thought we would have a bit of a pause. We didn't pause. I was wrong on that. We did take it, actually, when we were here, I did say, around about that 2,800, I did say, watch out for, we're getting a little bit of exhausted on the weekly and the monthly time frame. We did see a bit of a dip, certainly not as large of a dip as, coming back down to here. So my no higher than until we take a bit of a pause, because once you break out of a massive level, you've got to pause at some point. And again, this is on the monthly. I'll take it to the quarterly for you so you can see that a little bit better. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 6 quarters, okay, have been green, except for this one little quarter down here where it was just it was a doji candle. I call it the Darth Maul candle because it's like the double lightsaber, right? The handle right there, and then the on that side. So really, gold has been rocketing up since it broke $2,000 back in July-ish of 2023. So I think it's here at between $4,530 and $4,750. It's very specific, okay? There's 4530, 4750. Why is that? Because it's the confluence of two major Fibonacci levels from the old highs of the 80s and the late 90s, and the 2011 high and the 2015 low coincides around about there. So could we just dip from here and then head further down for gold? Yeah, could certainly do it, but I give it anywhere up to there. On the shorter term time frame for gold, let's have a look. We have respected so far, we still have respected this downtrend line. While we are above this downtrend line, I'm just saying a new all-time high for gold is coming very soon. If you break down below this downtrend line, okay, then we'll talk turkey. And I think, yes, I was also giving precedence to this green box right here. So from this high and this low, hold above the downtrend line, no problem. At least hold at the top end of the green zone right here, and that's at $3,355. Hold anywhere above there, and new all-time high for gold coming. Obviously, if you break back down below there, then we'll talk about some lower prices. But we're not there. It's looking great for gold at the moment. Let's take a quick look at platinum, and then we'll get out of here. Here is platinum on the daily time frame, price in USD, 1,255. What is playing out is what I think is still playing out what I said was going to play out. Short answer. Is the dead cat bounce still potentially playing out? If I show you on the 4 hour, look, we did have a test again of this level here of 1,270. But once we broke, and I'll show you the relative strength index as well. Once we came up to that $1,300 level, we were showing signs of weakness. That means where you have a higher high on the fiat dollar price, you have a flattening out or a lower high on the relative strength index. So that forms bearish divergence. It means price is going up, but the momentum is waning. The steam is running out. It's less buying pressure. Okay. So I was saying, look, watch out for a dip. I actually said it, I thought it was going to happen at around about here, didn't I? Remember that? I thought here was going to be the one, round about there. But no, we did rocket a little bit higher. Definite bearish divergence right here. And then still playing out. So we came down to the $1,215 level. It has not hit the top end of my zag zone just yet. So let me pop, yeah, that's the one right there. Hasn't done it just yet. Normally, when you have such a large move, you do come back to test the zag zone, which is the kind of normal expected support range. And that's anywhere between the 0.618 and the 0.382 Fibonacci from a significant low and a significant high. That's now the significant high because of that bearish divergence. So I have been saying on balance of probability that we do come down into this zone. We almost touched it. We haven't touched it yet. So then when we didn't do that, I took it from this high and this low, and I said very clearly, you're going to watch for resistance here at the 1.618. That's at the $1,270 level. I said it needs to break through there in order to say onwards and upwards from here. If it doesn't break through there, then I'm going to say I'm giving preference to this level from before. Just in the last 24 hours or so, we had a second test of 1270. It's been a failed move so far. Okay. But I'm going to stay indeterminate. I'll stay 50-50 at this stage. So if we break through and hold that, not just a wick. Okay, we need to close at least a 4 hour time frame above 1,270. Then we'll go, oh, okay, this is an invalid move, and we're just going to head onwards and upwards from here. And I will say, yeah, there's still 50-50 potential at this stage that we come down to this area. And the area that you do not want to close below is at the bottom end of the zag zone. That's at 1,145 US dollars per platinum troy ounce. So what does all this mean? Does it mean that you should be waiting to buy back here because you're waiting to buy the dip? No, no. Should you be dollar cost averaging into platinum? Yes, you should. Okay, it's just the best way to do it. Now, if you want to take that risk and wait for here or here or here, your call. No worries. But probably the best way to do it is dollar cost average. Buy every paycheck, buy once a month, pick a time for you, buy regardless of what the price is doing, and then you're just averaging your cost in over time. Why? Because, and I'll get rid of that, over the longer term, platinum is going higher. Just like gold is, platinum is going higher. Right here, we're talking about all-time high, 2,300 US dollars. That's going to be taken out eventually. I don't know the time frame, of course, but that will be taken out. Platinum, gold, and silver, precious metals, the mining stocks, commodities in general, oil, coal, all those commodities are going through a larger cycle now. They are outperforming the S&P 500, for example. Equities in general are going to continue, in my humble opinion, and many people smarter than me, going to continue to underperform the commodity sector, and precious metals is one of the big places to be. Of course, we are stackers here at Good Morning Stackers. I've stacked precious metals since 2010. So, speaking of stacking precious metals, of course, if you want to buy precious metals and you live in Australia, you really should be buying, or at least having them on your radar. If they're not part of your regular bullion dealer list, Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au has to be on that list. Go check them out. Why? They've been around for a whole year now. They started last year in May. They were the first company in all of Australia, in all of history. Okay, look at this. Australia's first and only bullion dealer to offer free shipping when you have 20 or more items in your order. Okay, no other bullion dealer had offered free shipping. None of them, none of the big boys. You could spend $100,000 and you still have to pay for shipping. Why? You deserve free shipping. So head over to perthbullion.com.au, start playing around with the shopping cart, and then you'll go, oh, I've added 5 of this and 2 of that and 7 of that. I've got 20 or more items in my shopping cart. Oh, there's the free shipping option. And it's express delivery, sign-on delivery, insured, all that other good stuff that you have to pay for at the other bullion dealers. Come on, man. And of course, if you can find something that Perth Bullion Exchange has on their website, cheaper somewhere else on a major bullion dealer's website, just send these guys a message and say, hey, I found it for cheaper at this other major place. Can you price match? And Ricky at Perth Bullion Exchange goes, with its couple of terms and conditions, but he goes, yeah, no problem. And he doesn't just give the discount to you, he then changes the price on the website so that everyone gets the lowest price as possible. And I think it's the only company that has that as official business policy as well. Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au. And you know how we've been doing all this charting stuff? Well, if you want to learn to be a better investor, then you should be heading to Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. Australian owned and operated amazing educational courses, plus their academy as well, which you can join for free. So let me show you that. If you want to do one of their courses, there's a 10-week foundational course just to learn to be a better investor, okay? If you don't want to be a full-on trader and do it for a living, you just want to be good at investing, Dow Theory Principles and Technical Analysis Foundations 10-week course, okay? They do multiple enrollments per year. And your time, it takes about 7 to 12 hours commitment per week. You get lots of live sessions. I cannot recommend it more highly. Now, technically, I haven't even gone through this course. Let me just share a little secret with you. Haven't done it. I'm planning on doing the 12-month year-long course, which actually starts pretty soon. That's my plan at this stage. That's the year-long comprehensive. So if you want to be potentially a full-on trader as well, which I'm considering doing, I just want to be the best I can possibly be. Okay, so could I learn probably enough during the 10-week foundational course? Yes, but I want to learn all the other stuff. I want to learn about Elliott wave theory and all the advanced techniques as well. So that's what I'm planning on doing. But here's the secret sauce. You can head over to academy.masteringthemarkets.com. Now you can sign up for free, okay? And you'll get all their free stuff that they post publicly. So this is stuff that you can find, anywhere else where they post on social media and things like that. Now that's good, and there's a public discussion forum. So that's, you wouldn't see that being discussed anywhere else. So there is some good free alpha, quote unquote alpha, the secret sauce, all that stuff. But if you do sign up to their paid membership, it's a monthly fee. I cannot recommend this more highly. Now, I don't get a cut of, the sale or anything. It's no referral fees or anything like that. It's just amazing. Now, I'm being sponsored by Mastering the Markets, of course, so I get complimentary access, but I can tell you I would be paying for this if I wasn't for free for me, okay? Give you an example. This is just the feed, okay? So it's just the feed, log in the morning, see what's coming up. Craig Tapping, one of the amazing educators here, posted something about uranium. Uranium stocks on track for an 11th consecutive green week. Mastering the Markets have been talking about uranium and the bottom in uranium for like 6 weeks now, okay? So you got people who have been in uranium since then through Mastering the Markets, been doing really well. And you just get people who are just members and they just posting their own opinions. So Nathan right here, he's talking about the next surf spot, meaning you go where the surf is good. So if something's a little bit outperforming now, what's the next thing that's still not outperforming it? What's underperforming? And what's the next thing that could pop? Okay, so he's talking about coal. So talking about coal stocks and things like that. I'm looking at a couple of these at the moment. You've got all the workshops as well, people talking about individual stocks, and then you've got people talking about silver. Okay, they're big in silver and precious metals here at Mastering the Markets as well. And of course, you have all the educator calls. So to give you an example, one of the amazing, of course, and the head of the school is ASX Trader. That's his pseudonym on YouTube. massive YouTube channel. Okay, if you know and love him, he's doing his bi-weekly videos going live. Starts in 2 hours, where he talks about the trade reviews. You can post your tickers and say, hey, can you take a look at blah, 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 and then he takes a look at it live. It's just amazing. And then all the other educators. You've got Jonathan Evans' timescales. You've got Craig Tapping's weekly market scan. You've got Craig Dixon's fundamentals. So you don't just get, TA bros going, oh, the Fibonacci levels and the this and that. You get Craig Dixon going, let's look at these announcements for this company. Here's what I'm seeing from a fundamental perspective. And then when you put fundamentals and then you go, oh, I'm going to look at the technical analysis chart now of that thing. Oh, wow, that's looking good. So you're getting the best of both worlds. I cannot more highly recommend Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com, and the Academy specifically. I'll put a link below to sign up. Ladies and gentlemen, you have watched another precious metals update, specifically focusing on silver. Today's $50 silver is absolutely imminent, and I've shown you where I think it's going to go after that. I go live on Tuesdays and on Thursdays, so hit the big red subscribe button to follow me, and follow me on Twitter as well, x.com/itsjoemain. Finally, if you're not used to it, this is what you get every time we go live. We do the synchronized slurp. I know you miss it when I don't do it live. You slurp your beverage, whatever you're drinking, slurp with me. 3, 2, 1, go. Fantastic. That's been Wednesday, the 18th of June, 2025. I'm going live tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Stay safe, stay informed, keep stacking whatever you're stacking. I'll see you live tomorrow.